What's going on? It's the Culinary Kid. We're going to do a little healthy cooking today. And I'm going to show you how we do it. Give you a little sense of what's going on here. Okay. I don't know. I have a big issue with some things that are going on in the world today. You know, all the unhealthy eating and stuff like that. But, I can't say that I'm the healthiest. I've made some bad choices in my day, eating wise. That's how we get the way we are. Remember, the FDA don't care about you. It's about this. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I make it's almost like a pizza, but I'm going to use, now you can use whatever you want, but this is what I use. You can use canned chicken or you can use tuna, but it has to be albacore. You see? Albacore. You're going to get a lot less of that fish taste. And I'm going to show you. Don't, I know. You're like, oh, I ain't going to eat no tuna fish and nah. But wait a minute. I haven't showed you how we're going to go ahead and change this flavor profile. So hang on one second. I'll show you. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Here we go. We're going to go ahead and lay it in a bowl like this, right? Now I drained the water off of this already, of course. And I got a pan here. I laid down some parchment paper, Got to have a little bit of parchment paper and, this way it don't stick. And I'll show you what we're going to do, okay? Now, I ate, my carbs earlier today. So I'm trying to think and be like, hey, you know what? End of the day, I'm not going to go ahead and have these carbs. So, but I still like my bread, I'm half Italian. We love bread. So I'm going to show you, okay? I give myself 1 egg here, okay? We're going to go ahead and crack ourselves 1 egg. It's going to go right in here. We're going to make a paste, okay? I know. A little bit of like pate here style. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. Now what I got going with this, we're going to give it a little mix around, okay? Give it a little mix around like this. We're going to fold it, keep on folding it. And you'll see, it's going to turn a little bit gooey, and that's fine. But, I find out when you go to the store and you buy your cheapest tuna fish, if you're not buying albacore tuna, then you've already screwed up. You're already really screwed up. Because it's really a real low grade. And you can see right now I got like a paste forming here, okay? I know, but I have the protein, okay? I got the protein either from the, whatever you want to use, the tuna fish or the canned chicken. I showed you the other day how you make egg rolls using canned chicken, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a little twist on it, okay? We're going to put ourselves some Parmesan cheese, You want to get a little Parmesan cheese in there. You're going to take some Italian seasoning, a little Italian seasoning. See what we're doing here? We're changing the flavor profile. We're making it something that it wasn't, And you can do all kinds of things. You can find yourself a protein powder that might be good for bacon. That's another option. I get it with no flavor to it, You can add it to it. It's good for bacon. This is just garlic powder, a little standard garlic powder. We're going to go ahead and whip it up, and you're going to see, okay? We're going to combine everything here. Combine it all, Get it so that it's a nice paste consistency. And like I said, you can do whatever you want with this. I make it, and it comes out kind of like a focaccia. I already forgot about you. But, yeah, no, this is like a focaccia bread, nice thin. And what we're going to do is, I got the parchment paper here. We're going to go ahead and lay it down, okay? We're going to lay it down like this. I got that oven rocking at 375, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to par cook this. We're going to get it so that it's nice and golden brown, right? Nice and golden brown. We're going to go ahead and scoop this in here. Like I said, it looks like a paste, but this is fantastic. This is fantastic, whether you believe it or not. You know, you just have to try it yourself. And like I said, if fish ain't your thing, then go ahead. Grab yourself a canned tuna. We don't need this no more. We don't need this no more. Okay? Now this is the tricky part. You're going to take this just like this. You're going to push it nice and flat. Nice and flat. Just like this. Okay? And you want it as thin as you can. It's going to be real nice and thin. Just like this. And keep on doing it. Use the back of your fork. Use the back of your fork. And keep on pushing it down and pushing it down. Hang on one second. I'll show you. Keep on pushing it down. We're going to get a square. You can do it in whatever shape you want. You know, I like to do mine a little Detroit style. So we're going to take it nice and flat. Like I said, this is going to remind you of a flat crust pizza or a focaccia. There we go again. Forgot about it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and smooth this over like this. You know, smooth it nice and flat. Want it nice and flat. And I'm going to show you. Okay? I'm going to show you. Pay attention here. Pay attention. Are you paying attention or what? Man, don't be sleeping on me. Don't be sleeping on me, okay? We're going to go ahead, pound this nice and flat. You're going to get a little bit of stickage here, you know, but you want it as flat as you can get it, because once it goes into the oven and shit like that, you know, it's going to take a minute. So, pound it nice and flat. Remember, this is going to be like your thin crust pizza. You can do whatever you want with this. You can top it with the cheese. You can chop it with a little bit of your, I don't know. You want to use a little bit of pasta sauce. You want to use a little spicy pasta sauce. And then, you know, hit it with a little bit of cheese and some pepperoni after. And now you got yourself a pizza. But we're going to put a little twist on this. We're going to take it a little bit further than that. You know, I'm going to try something a little different. And you can experiment with this. You really can. We're almost there. We're getting it, you know. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time. But you know what? If you do it and you do it with love, it's worth the wait. Everything's worth the wait, you know. Everything's worth the wait if you're trying to eat a little bit healthy. So it takes a little bit. We're going to get it nice and flat. I'm going to smooth it. Push it, you know, use the back of your fork a little bit, just like that. Okay. See, this is good enough for one person. I'm going to show you. This is what we ended up with. See? Detroit style. Welcome to the D, baby. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and push this flat like this. Just like that. Now I'm going to put it in the oven, you know. I'm going to put it in the oven. And we're going to let it do its thing, you know. And I don't know. I got it like around 375 or so. And we're going to wait for it. And we're going to do a little chit-chatting while we wait for it. It's probably going to take, I don't know, 15 minutes, you know. We're going to par cook this. Well, I can't say we're going to par cook it. We're going to cook it until it starts to get a little brown on top. It starts to turn solid. You're going to see the edges get a nice brown to it. And that's when you know that your crust is done, okay? It's not completely done because we haven't topped it yet. You're going to come and you're going to do the topping after, okay? You're going to let it rest for a minute, do your toppings on it, then you're going to take it and put it back in the oven. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these toppings because, like I said, I had my carbs earlier today, so I'm trying to think in my head, you know, is this going to be good for me? Eat your carbs in the morning, you know, eat them for lunch. Then when you come home, go ahead and have yourself a nice high protein, low carb meal. You know, you have to think, you know, the FDA, like I said, they don't care about you. You're nothing but money to them, okay? So look at it this way. I got my tuna, right? Protein, okay? I got egg, protein, okay? I got myself a little bit of the cheese. I know I didn't grade it, you know. Fuck. I don't know what to tell you, you know. But I can tell you this. It's got 2 grams of protein. So that's protein on top of protein on protein. And I'm going to tell you what. It's got sodium of 95. Okay? That's not bad. You want to stay fat? I'm going to tell you. Eat yourself a lot of sodium because listen to me, okay? The deal is when you go out and you have yourself a lot of sodium, you're gonna end up having high blood pressure, okay? I got a whole cabinet over there of medication that says so, okay? So cut out the sodium. You ever wanna listen to me for a minute? Okay, go over into that Smart Ones and your Kroger's, go into Smart Ones, Lean Cuisine, Weight Watchers, all the big shots, right? And I want you to pick up one of their packages. And I want you to look at the back of it, okay? And you're looking at the back of it, what do you see? I guarantee you ain't gonna see nothing under 490 milligrams of sodium. That's a problem. That is blood pressure pills waiting for you on the other side, okay? It's a marketing scam. It's a marketing scam. They wanted to sell you this shitty food with high sodium content so it tastes somewhat palatable. Somewhat palatable. Notice I said somewhat, and at a high price, okay? You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Let me tell you, when I started this, I'm not saying it didn't happen overnight. I didn't get huge overnight. It took some years of bad eating, okay? But what ended up happening is I realized that your sodium is going to make you retain water, right? You retain water, it gets you all puffy and swollen and stuff. Look at it this way. If you go in, let's say you go to a fast food restaurant, okay? And it's like 700 milligrams of sodium in that particular burger, okay? And 750 calories, okay? What you're looking at is you're looking at burning 700 or 750 milligrams of sodium first before you ever hit that 700 calories, okay? Who's crazy? Are they crazy or are you crazy? That's what you have to ask yourself. So I'm not saying don't have no carbs. I'm saying keep it smart, keep it whole grain. If it's white, it's not right. I know this is one of those incidents. Yes, it is what it is. But that's for diabetics. And I'm telling you, it don't matter what race, religion, or color you are, because we all got high blood pressure. We're in this boat together. We're paddling like this in the same one. The FDA ain't picking skin color. I'm going to tell you that much. They're coming, and they're coming after you, my friend. Okay, you can take it from me. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to freaking call me. But I'm going to tell you what. As long as you stay in the system, and they can keep generating money off of you, they're gonna, okay? And when you die and you end up dying young, guess what? They're lessening the population. Guess what? They don't need you. There's another one right behind you. So let's be a little bit conscious of what we're doing, okay? Take back control of your life, or you're gonna let the FDA tell you what you can and can't do. Come on now. We got to use a little common sense. But like I said, I have this right now, 400 degrees. It's doing its thing, and we're going to talk a little bit, okay? Why it's cooking is I lost 100 pounds, okay, in 6 months. I was averaging 7.5 pounds a week, okay? I had myself one cheat day on a Sunday. I ate high protein. I was eating 2.5 proteins a day, 4 vegetables, 3 fruit, 200 calories of starch, 200 calories of starches. Now, mind you, whole grain. Notice I said whole grain. And if you're going to have a baked potato is roughly like 200 calories, a small one. Not the monsters that you'd be putting out on your grill that's like 3 times the size of your face. Come on now. Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit. Get yourself a normal potato. Eat that once a day. You hit your carbs. That's it, okay? That's how that works. Now, when Sunday came around and they were throwing the football and the family was together, what do? We did barbecue. There was cheesecake. There was this. There was that. Did I have that cheat day? Yes, I did. But I went through a detox, okay? Before I even started what I was telling you with the proteins and all that. And that was as much red meat protein as I could eat. If I wanted to eat five steaks, I could that day. And if I wanted to have, let's say, salad, I could eat as much of that as I wanted until I Literally was sick, okay, of eating that stuff. But that's only for 3 days. And then you go bang into the diet, right? And now you're 2.5 proteins a day, four vegetable, three fruit, and everything else that I said, okay? And it's store-bought food. It's store-bought food. All fresh, no frozen, no fancy meal plans, no nothing. It's, hey, know what you're doing out there. Read your labeling. Keep it under 250 milligrams of sodium. And guess what? You're going to see it start to shrink, okay? Now, when you have that one day that you really screwed up, that Sunday, you know, any given Sunday you could screw up, right? That's what they say, football season, any given Sunday. Okay, well, on Monday and Tuesday, you go back to as much red meat and as much protein as you want, or as much red meat and raw greens as you want. Okay, you do that for 2 days. Does it suck? Yeah, but you have to kick yourself in your own ass for having your cheat day. So you did a little here and you give a little there. So if you do it that way, you're gonna end up finding out that once you go back into the meal plan, whatever that is, you know, whatever your choices are on that meal plan, you know, like I said, any vegetables, any proteins and stuff like that. Don't eat yourself a bunch of pork 2 days in a row. Skip a day. You know what I'm saying? Skip a day. Allow that sodium, you know, pork's high in sodium. So allow that sodium to flush out. You get it? So now we're doing that. You know, just know what you're doing a little bit out there. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's not going to be cheap. But you find ways to do it, you know? I mean, $2.30 some cents, you know, and this is the toppings we're going to use, okay? I'm not going with a pizza. I got a little bit of artichoke here, you know? I diced up some artichoke and, you know, it is just like this, artichoke and a little bit of green onion, right? And what we're going to do is once this comes out of here, it's going to be a little bit brown around the edges. You know, we're going to let it set up a little bit. We're going to take our artichokes. We're going to put it over the top. Now we're changing the flavor profile. There ain't no fish here. There ain't no fish taste because we made it like this and changed it right out the gate. Now we're going to turn around and we're going to put the artichoke heart on it. We're going to put the green onion. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it back in the oven for a little bit, you know. I'm going to take it the rest of the way. You only want to power cook it. You just want to brown it a little bit, you know, till it solids up like a bread, you know, like a dough. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to put all the toppings on it. Then I'm going to use a little sneak attack. I'm going to take the oil, okay, the artichoke oil, and I'm gonna literally pull it out of there with a spoon and I'm gonna drizzle it over the top, you know, and I'm gonna make it look nice. Because, you know, what did I say? We eat with our eyes. And then we get one of these, you know. So don't be eating with your eyes. If you're gonna eat with your eyes, you're gonna fail. So let's eat, you know, be a little bit health conscious a little bit, pick and choose the times of the day that you're going to take in a little bit of calories. And then at night, please, before you go to bed, don't be shoving it in your face with a bunch of high sodium and then go to bed. What do you think's going to happen? Huh? You're going to go to sleep and where's that going to go? It goes to your belly and your ass. Okay, I got both. You know, it's like a freight train, you know. I don't know, whatever, you know, it is what it is, but we're trying to get it down, okay? I weighed 350 pounds when I started this. I'm down to 220, not 229, man, I almost scared you. No, I'm down to 329, okay? So I've lost over 20-some pounds doing it this way, and it's a slow process. I'm going to tell you, it ain't an easy process. It didn't get there overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. It takes a little bit of work. So let's see where we are here. Okay, it's starting to solid up. I might take the temperature just a little bit. And we're going to crank it up just a little bit. I might bring it a little higher than 375. Let it do a little catch up, you know. It's okay. We're going to do a little catch up here. So yeah, these are all the things that I think about on a daily basis where I just wonder, why is everybody going out and spending all this money on all these different restaurants and stuff like that that ain't making you, they're out there to make a buck. So why don't you just turn around and say, no, I'm not going to be part of the system, and I'm going to think a little bit on what I'm doing, and I'm going to make my life a little bit better. And in turn, you might find out whatever job you're doing, all of a sudden Calvin Klein's calling you up. They want to make a commercial. Your OnlyFans is popping off the charts. And then you know what? You could just scrap your whole career and just be a supermodel, okay? I'm going to be a 50-year-old supermodel. You don't know it yet, but it's coming, Just hang tight. So we're going to go ahead and do it like this, and you'll see. It's going to be fantastic. Okay? She's starting to brown up around the corners. Good news. Good news. She's doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. It's a his and hers kind of thing. And, you're going to have a relationship. You should have a relationship with food, man. Because I guarantee you, if you do it right and you make yourself healthy, it's going to be a lot cheaper in the long run. And, there's no guarantees this day and age. So you only got a real little bit when it comes down to the actual sense of time. So, we're lucky nowadays if we're going to make it to 65, 70 years old. You want to stay at your job until you're 70, 80 years old and hopped up on a bunch of pills, from the pharmaceutical companies that's just keeping you alive. Hey, more power to you. If that's the life you want, then go ahead. I'm not going to come over and whoop your ass, but I am going to show you how to change that. You want to learn how to change it? We're going to do it right here. So we got to get, I'm going to get a little bit of these right here. We're going to get ready. We're going to get ready here. Once this comes out, like I said, I'm going to let it rest a little bit. This way it's nice and solid, And we'll get to topping this. And like I said, I'm going to put it in there. Bake it for another probably 15 minutes. Make sure it's nice and crunchy. How you doing? You doing all right in there? All right. See, we got a good relationship going already. We got a real good relationship. Uh-oh. See? She knows. She knows. I know. She knows. Y'all gonna know. So here we go. All right, now, like I said, if you want to do a nice pizza with this, go get yourself some mozzarella like I showed you. Don't get yourself the bag mozzarella and stuff like that. Garbage. Get yourself a little brick. Get yourself a little grater. Grate yourself some Parmesan. Or some, I'm sorry, I cheated. Yep, this is my Parmesan. But grab the mozzarella and grate it. You're going to get much better cheese. And then I top it with turkey. Get some turkey bacon, man. Anybody likes a pig, but, do you want to look like one? Get yourself a little turkey bacon. Slice that up a little bit. Put it on there. Now you got yourself a little pizza with bacon topping. Ham, kind of high in sodium. So I don't know if you can find an alternative. How about turkey? Get a little bit of green onion. Put that on there. Get a little bit of yellow pepper, whatever you want to do. Finish it off in the oven. Remember, you can use canned tuna if you're albacore if you're into that. Or you can use canned chicken. And you're going to find out. It's going to come out looking just like a focaccia. Yeah, I totally forgot about you again. Sorry. But we're here in the kitchen, and it's you and me. We're gonna work it out, okay? It's almost there. We're starting to get browned around the edge. I know. It's a waiting game. But when you're cooking for yourself or you're cooking for your loved ones, isn't it worth the wait, I mean, it makes the anticipation grow. I mean, you guys are interested, right? You want to know how this thing's going to turn out back here. Imagine your kids, get them in the kitchen. Get them doing some of this stuff. Teach them, They're going to learn more from you in the house, cooking with them and trying to give them a healthy lifestyle than they're ever going to learn. Once you turn them loose out there, the big pharma, all of them, they're going to take care of them, you know, so-called take care of them, or they're going to fall victims to the money-making machine. So it's what you teach them at a young age, you know, get around the table, have them put away the phones, say, hey, we're going to roll out some doughs here, we're going to, you know, I'm going to dress up this pizza, or I'm going to make something like this, you know, where it's chicken and protein on protein on protein, and get the kids involved a little bit. Tell them, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll make the dough and you guys decorate the pizza, you know. Now all of a sudden they're interested. They want to do it, you know. They're like, I get to make my own individual pizza. I'm down with this. I'm down with it. Now they're having fun. And they don't even know that they're eating healthy. You see how you put a play on it and you trick them into eating something healthy without them even knowing? Yeah, this is as much part of you and your family as it is part of me and my family, you know? You've been going down the wrong path for so many years. It's time to get off the wrong path because you want to be there for your kids. You want to see them grow old. You want to see them do all kinds of things. Well, you're never going to get that opportunity if you let the system eat you up. So don't fall victim to the machine. I already told you. Here we go. She's almost there. We're probably going to take this out. I'll give it another 5 minutes, you know? I know. It's not easy. It's not easy. The anxiety's killing me too. Okay? But we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it through this together. I believe it, you know? Whether or not you believe it, it don't matter. Scroll right by. I don't care. You know, most do. So, whatever. Do you. So, here we go. We're going to pull this bad boy right now. Okay? I'm going to show you. Here we go. You see? You see how it's starting to brown around the edges? You see this? I can pick it right up. I can pick it up like a pizza dough. Okay? Now let it cool for a minute. Not really, but, you know, I'm going to give it a little time to set up and, you know, do its thing. And like I said, you can slice this however you want. You want to slice it like crazy bread because everybody's crazy nowadays. So why not give them a crazy bread, right? And done the right way. Okay, here we go. We're going to take a little bit of this. We're going to just put it on top. You know, you can put it any way you want. We're just going to drizzle it on top. Okay? Here we go. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Get on there. Go to your home. You stay there. Okay? Here we go. Little bit, little bit, little bit. I'll take it a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to take these green onions. Remember, I told you. I diced these. I didn't dice them. I grabbed the scissors over there. I'm a cheater. But hey, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it this way. So, okay. Now, make sure we use it all. You don't want to cheat. You know, nobody likes a cheater. So, we'll go ahead and drop it down like that. A little bit more. Okay. Now, come here. Pay attention. You see what we got there? Look like a flatbread, right? That's what we're talking about. Now, we're going to take this. We're going to hit it with a little more Parmesan. You know, give it a little top. A little top, top, top. You know, just like that. Bang, bang. Man, I can eat it right now. Here, hang on. Just wait. Just wait. Don't go nowhere. See? Flatbread. Okay? Forgot you. Didn't forget about this one, though. We're going to put it back in. And we're just going to do this for a little bit. We're gonna crank it up. We're going to take it 400. You know, because we're really trying to get that browning on there. Got it so it's a pizza crust right now. And now we're going to take that and we're going to brown it just a little bit. Hang on. Let me put this away. Don't go nowhere. Keep your pants on. Keep your pants on, okay? Here we go. In there. In there. We're gonna put this away. See, this is quick, man. You know, we're cleaning up as we go. What do they call it? Mise en place. You know, everything in its place. So look it up. It's French. It's called mise en place. Okay. You learn that in culinary. You always gotta have your mise en place. If you ain't got your mise en place, you'll be running around the kitchen all day long looking for this and looking for that. Okay, we ain't doing that. We ain't about that. Get your prep work done early, you know? Like I said, this isn't easy to do, but when you take the time to do it, it's gonna make your life a lot better. And I believe that. I honestly fucking believe that. Sorry, I don't mean to drop F-bombs and everything. You know what? I didn't mean to drop an F-bomb. Did it offend you? It kind of offended me a little bit, but I apologize. Anyway, so here we go. What did I do? Oh, I put the artichokes away. See? I get to talking to you people, and all of a sudden the artichokes disappear. We got to keep it for the oil, right? I told you, we can't skip a step. So here we go. It's only going to take probably like another 8 minutes once you put it in there. You know, 8 to 10 minutes, and that's okay. You know, it's a waiting game. But getting back to it, it's like you should be doing this with your kids. You know, it's a failed art. It's you know, unless you went to culinary school or you're going to CIA, you know, Culinary Institute of America, or you got some good parents in your life that, you know, this is how you grew up, is cooking alongside them and rubbing elbows. Yeah, hey, guess what? You know how to cook, but this generation doesn't know how to cook. They know how to DoorDash, I'll tell you that much. Not a good deal, not a good deal. You got people touching your food over here, and then the driver touching your food over there, and then they're leaving it on the porch over there, and then, you know, the hamster next door ate it, and y'all ridiculous, man. Come on. Let's trade the convenience for a little bit of common sense, and you know what? You're going to get healthy, and your life is going to be a little different. You're going to have a little more energy. You know, sad to say that this day and age, everybody wants to judge you by how you look, okay? I ain't gonna lie, I'm sexy. I'm sexy, yeah, you know it. No, the reality is people are gonna judge you, you know? They wanna look at you and be like, oh, this guy's a slug, okay? No, the reality is we're not a slug. The reality is maybe we were in a depressed state, maybe we had this or that or some high stress and we were stress eating, and, you know, it doesn't make us lazy people. What it makes us is uneducated, you know, uneducated to what the system is doing to us as we're trying to get somewhere in life, okay? Don't fall victim, man. Don't be a victim, okay? Here we go. We're going to pull this out pretty soon. It looks good to me. There we go. We're going to let it cool for a little bit, okay? Now I'm going to get a spoon over here. We're going to get a little spoon. I know. My mise en place was off. I forgot about the spoon, okay? We're going to take a little bit of the oil, just like this, okay? And it's okay if you get a couple of artichokes in there. You know, you already got some artichokes. So we'll drizzle it on top. We'll give it a little something, something, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, okay? Yeah, I'm going to even make it prettier for you because I want you to be able to see this. You know, it's hard to see on the pan. And, here, hang on. We're going to show you. I'm going to show you. You take this. We're going to lay this down. Okay? Lay that down like that. Now what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to get a pizza cutter, right? We're going to get ourselves a, I think it's over here. Somewhere. Maybe in the back. There you are. Okay. Come on out. You're gonna come out to play with us, okay? We're gonna have a good time. Okay? Now watch. Pay attention now. Okay? We're gonna pick up this pot right here. Come on. I'll put her down like that. Okay? Get rid of this so you can see what's going on here. Okay? We're going to go ahead and show you. Here, let me. Yeah. Flavor profile changed 110%. No tuna fish taste here. Okay? Get yourself a little pizza cutter. Like I said. Bam. Bam. Crabs hatch. Okay? Look at this. Look at how it holds together. Here, I don't know if you can see this. Look at. You see? Hang on. It's like a dough. A thin crust dough. Okay? What? You ain't tasting no fish here. You're tasting focaccia. Forget about it.